Hi everybody, today I'm helping my dad unscrew this bolt. All I had to do is stick it in, then go like this. So if you look very close, you can see that it's already starting to come off. And the more you do this, the more the bolt falls off, and I'm afraid that this might fall on my foot. So I am going to keep my feet far away. This actually flew my feet.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Casey, and yeah, we got the Jeep out today. We're just working on a little bit. Slowly working through some of these weird electrical issues since replacing the TPM. Right now, I am about to replace a speed sensor. Seems like my speedo's not working. I've got a code to replace. I've got a code saying that I've got a failed driver's side front speed sensor. So I go through these a lot. Thankfully they're super cheap on Rock Auto. I think they were like 15 bucks Canadian or something like that, and I can probably swap it out in about 15 minutes. So I've got another one. I'm just going to swap that out, but I wanted to just share a little bit about what I've been doing with the Jeep to kind of get it repaired. Now, as you saw the other week, I did replace the TPM, and that did resolve some of my issues, but I still had a couple other problems. One of them was that I was blowing my fuse for my interior lights, and that turned out to be, well, most of my problems are caused from me doing my modifications, and I'll show you exactly what happened here. If I pop open the trunk, I guess I should unlock the doors. That's another issue I need to fix, is that when I open this door, it doesn't trigger the lights or the interior circuit. I've got a couple new latch mechanisms coming. It's a whole module. They're like 50 or 60 bucks on Rock Auto. I've got to replace both the driver's side and the passenger side, and then that should clear that up. But if we take a look in my trunk, I've showed you guys before, we have this guy here. It's a little cyclone light. And this is really handy because I have the Tuffy security deck. And so when basically you can't see anything in here because there's no light with the metal top. So I put one of these on, and I basically just tied it into the interior light circuit. Now what happened is this light wire runs down back behind my subwoofer and my gear, and the wire runs under the security deck back panel, because this is got four sides to it, and it runs down and underneath it. Now I had loomed the wire up to prevent it from chafing or whatever, but I guess something happened. The loom got pulled up a little bit too far, the wire chafed, the positive basically became exposed and hit the security deck and blew the fuse. This is why we have fuses, in case you ever have a short. And on things like Jeeps, where you've got a lot of bouncing around and jostling and things moving around, you know, it's inevitable that things are going to happen, especially if you've got a lot of aftermarket wiring. So I ended up sorting that out, found out that's where the short was. My friend Mike and I, he was helping me yesterday, awesome mechanic, and pretty much when I get tunnel vision and can't figure things out, I take it over there, and he usually figures it out pretty quick. So we sorted out that issue with the Cyclone, and now my interior lights work. Something to note is, if you ever blow your fuse on your interior circuit and you have a Rubicon, it is also going to blow on the same circuit is the Rubicon switches for the sway bar and lockers. So you're not going to be able to use those if you've blown that fuse. So if you ever are wondering why your switches aren't working, and you check to see if your interior lights are on, because they all run on the same circuit. And of course I've gone and tapped into that. Now I haven't had any problems doing that. Technically, I reduced some of the load on the circuit by swapping out my interior overhead lights with LEDs. So that cut down the amount of amperage draw on that circuit. And the Cyclones are only about 0.3 amps each. So there's not a lot of, actually when I calculated, it's actually less load than factory. So it seems to be working okay. Just make sure your wiring isn't getting chafed and shorting out, but that's why we have fuses, just in case something like that happens. Now the other thing that we ended up sorting out, and I'll put a picture up here in a second, but you can see we had the scan tool out. Mike has a great set of diagnostic tools, but we weren't able to get any, we weren't able to connect to the OBD2 port. Now I've been having some issues with my trail dash, and when I plug it in, some weird things would happen. And we ended up finding down here, just for your own knowledge, right below or behind the OBD2 port, there is a ground wire, and this is the ground wire for the port. If you trace back which one of these pins on that port is the ground, you can see that it grounds out right there on the side of the Jeep. And that bolt just happened to be loose, and so the ground wire was not getting a good contact, and it was intermittently contacting the body, and that was leading to some other weird issues, and we weren't able to diagnose the Jeep. Once we fixed up that ground, our issues went away. So just something to think about. So that was something interesting I learned new, and now I know where that ground wire is, and that's one less thing that I need to be worrying about. So the Jeep is running pretty good, with the exception of the speedometer not working. I'm gonna swap out the speed sensor on the front left. It's annoying that you can't tell which speed sensor it is without a diagnostic tool. But if you have one that is able to read ABS codes, it will tell you which corner you need to replace your speed sensor. So I'm gonna just pop that out. There are a lot of videos on how to do this. You could even look at one of my other videos where I've pulled off the wheel, the brake caliper, lots of times. Super simple. You don't need to replace, you don't need to take too much off to do this, and you can do it in about 10 or 15 minutes once you get your Jeep jacked up and take the wheel off. So I'm just gonna swap that out, and then we're gonna go over to Mike's, and I'm gonna get him to run the scan tool, make sure that we've cleared up that issue. Hopefully my speedometer is working after that, because if it's not the speed sensor, I don't know what it's gonna be. And that pretty much has squared away most of my issues, other than things that don't really matter, like the door lock actuator. There's something wrong with my amp that's running my sub. It's an old amp, and I think it's just died. That's not crucial to going off-roading, so pretty much we're good to go right now. And next Saturday I am planning to go out wheeling, which means we get an off-road vlog. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Come check back next week. I will be editing on Sunday, so I'll probably upload later in the day or Monday morning. If I go out Saturday to shoot a vlog. And then after that, the weekend after that, I've got something really kind of fun and kind of goofy planned. But one of the tuner shops here is having a dyno day, and I think I might bring the Jeep down just to see how much horsepower it actually has. Now I'm hoping we can bring the Corvette down as well, and maybe we'll be the most horsepower and the lowest horsepower. But I thought it would be kind of a fun vlog day. There's some other YouTube creators here from Victoria that are going to be there, and it's just a good opportunity to meet and talk with some other people in the car space. So I'm going to take the Jeep down, hopefully with any luck. We're going to put it on the dyno, and we'll see just what this old 3.8 liter has left in it. Now mine has 191,000 kilometers on it. I'm not sure what that is in miles, probably around 140 or something like that. And it's been put through its paces, obviously off-roading, but I am re-geared, and with the 37s it does help a lot. But we'll see what kind of horsepower this thing is putting out on the dyno. It'd be kind of a fun day. So if you're interested in seeing that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys. I will have that uploaded in a couple weeks. And I'm just going to go ahead and swap out the speed sensor, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. What's going on with my Jeep? What have I been doing? Why am I not wheeling this weekend? And let you know some of the problems that I've had. With that said, I'm going to get going on this. We don't need to have a vlog on how to replace the speed sensor. Any questions, leave them down below. I try my best to answer everything that you guys leave down there. I don't know everything about Jeeps, but if I do know, I will provide you with an answer, or I'll reply to your comment and say, I'm not sure, but here's some places to go check it out. With that said, I will see you guys soon in the next upload.